Everybody, please stop trying to find the next big stock in the stock market. It's better to just follow the money and stick with the best companies on the market. Even if you see them have a crazy run so far, we're about to explain to you today why you need to just stick with what the big money is doing. So Newski, without further ado, let's get right into that, bro.
Yeah, so I know a lot of you guys been talking about what the best company is out there, trying to find the next gem, but it's actually not necessary at all, right? So we have a couple of things we wanted to really highlight and show you, and we talked about this a lot, but here is another example why investing in the best companies in the world will never let you down, right? So Amazon will be expanding into mobile services for Prime members, right? That's a completely different industry. Apple will now be offering a high yield savings account. JP Morgan, which is one of the largest banks, if not the largest bank, now controls over 15% of US banking deposits. Google now controls 90% of global search traffic. And then Meta just announced that they have 3 billion active users across all platforms. So let's just pause for a second, right? Bro, I'm going to ask you right now. This is like a starting five, bro. We both played ball growing up. You were obviously worse than me. So when you think about it, like when you were picking a team, right, would you not want the best 5 players or would you want the 5 worst players on the team?
Of course, you can want the best 5. That's why I was always picked and you were never picked. Exactly.
Yeah.
You make no sense. Makes a lot of sense.
But now, guys, like think about it, right? Like if you guys play sports, at the end of the day, we have to stop. And I think it's a huge thing that we really want to clear up on this channel. Like y'all are trying to find the next big thing out there. And I get it. I completely get it. I have a personal story I will share with you guys at the end of the episode of how I lost out on a 55% return, which equates to more than $3,000 to $4,000 of my own personal money, because I was trying to do what you're trying to do right now. So make sure you watch until the end. But let's just make it very clear, right? Like all these companies are the biggest companies. Like, well, what do you think when you think of social media, bro?
You're gonna go with Meta, bro. They got, just say right there, 3 billion active users, bro.
Right? Like I think of Instagram, which is like Facebook, right? Like they control that. WhatsApp, they control that. Google is literally a term in the dictionary. You know what I mean? YouTube and Google control everything. So this is an example of that.
Yeah.
Then comes this. This is even more scary because it says if you take 5 S&P 500 stocks, 5, once again, the top 5, and put them into index by themselves, they're up 86% this year to date. So Meta, once again, Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, and Tesla. Meanwhile, the S&P is up currently 12%. That's not bad at all, but compared to 86%, that gets pretty spooky. And if you just take those 5 stocks out, it's only up 3%. So let's talk about that too, bro. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and so even with that point, people kind of look at that and say, oh man, so we must be coming down soon because this can't last, right? When big tech is front running the market like this can't last. They're going to come back down and meet where everybody else is on the bottom side. But instead, what people have to realize is historically, it's more accurate to say that if big tech is out front, the smaller companies actually pay catch up. And so what we're going to expect, and I'm going to show that on the chart when I share my screen, we're actually expecting smaller cap stocks to start to catch up to big tech rather than big tech come back down to smaller cap. That's just what's historically more accurate. Now, will it happen? We have to see things play out. We've seen a lot of firsts come in our little era right here, but I'm just saying that's what's historically supposed to happen.
That's funny. I like that you said error. But yo, another thing I want to show you guys, right, is as simple as this. The VO Vanguard S&P 500 and ETF. Just look at it, man. Just look at the top 10. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, Google, Berkshire, Facebook, Exxon, United Healthcare. At the end of the day, the best of the best are going to be in this index, right? That's what the whole thing is for. So when you look at it, this allows you to understand what to invest in, right? And same thing with QQQ. It's going to be the same companies over and over and over again because these are the best companies. Same thing here. VTI, which is a total stock market. So screw the top 500 companies. Screw the tech companies. Let's just look at the best companies in the market in general. It's going to be the same companies every single time.
And
so
these
companies, let you know what's up.
Yeah, and it just kind of shows you like the best CEOs in the world are going to perform. Like, even when it comes to like earnings season this past season, we were expecting -7% on earnings, and we only got -2% on earnings. It just shows you just like they were able to meet their margins in this environment. No matter what, you can't bet against the best CEOs in the world. It takes a lot to even get to your company to the top 500, much less the top 10. And so you see how they perform under pressure. That's why they are who they are. That's why they're the all-stars. If this was the league, this is the LeBrons. You know what I'm saying? This
I was about to say, people are trying to find the next Ja Morant so hard. And the next thing you know, he takes a gun out and starts going crazy. There's a parade inside his city, right? Now you stuck. Now you're stupid.
You should have just stuck with LeBron. You had LeBron on your team. Just stick with LeBron.
That's what I'm saying. So guys, like, we'll be very transparent with you, right? Like VTI, QQ, VO, we personally invest in this every single time. All the time. Like, this is not a secret. So we're not saying we found the best companies to invest in. We didn't do anything. If someone tells you that, oh my God, I'm championing Apple, I'm championing Microsoft, and that makes them the greatest investor of all time, that's not true. They're just using common sense. And that's what we want you guys to do too. So as simple as that. Rel, go ahead and talk about your charts. I will share our story until the end. So you have to stick around.
Yeah, for a fact. So like, look at these charts here. So we already showed the SP 500 as we showed this before, and you see that it's getting ready to potentially break out. Once it breaks over this white line, that's a big breakout. So we're looking to see there. We got within $4 of that on Friday. So I'm very interested to see how the week opens up. You'll probably know more by the time you watch this episode, but we'll see what transpires there. The QQQ already broke the heck out. QQQ, which is the NASDAQ, they have been running. It's been a very good run for them. The Dow has actually been consolidating, right? We haven't really had much movement. If you guys remember, if this is your first time watching, like we say, when it comes to these charts, remember that if you see the line, the direction moving down, that means price is going down. If the direction is moving up, that means the price is moving up for that stock or that ETF. Right now, we're looking at the Dow Jones. And as you see, it keeps going back and forth between up and down. This is called consolidation, but it's showing signs that it wants to break out. Now, IWM, what is this? This is the Russell 2000. So now you're looking at small cap stocks. So this goes into our point where we were talking about, do you want to stick with the biggest companies in the world, or do you want to try to find like a small cap and try to ride it? And hopefully you find the next Apple, the next Microsoft. I mean, listen, stick with where the money is at. Money is in big tech. You want to follow where the big money is, one. But I will say that small cap stocks do look like they're primed for a breakout soon, as they've been consolidating. And then we had this past week, they showed signs that they want to break out. And this kind of plays into my point where I said, usually when big tech is front running, or just the biggest companies in the world are front running, the smaller companies start to catch up versus vice versa. So IWM, which is the Russell, is showing signs that it wants to break out a bit. Now, to look at the companies that like Newski was mentioning, look at Apple, guys. Apple, this white line is its all-time high.
Just look at how it's performing compared to everything else, and look at the percentage returns. You know what I mean? Like, y'all chasing small companies when you have one of the greatest companies in the world right here.
Performing right for your odds. Apple already is right next to the all-time high. They came within $2 of the all-time high. We'll see what happens this week. Microsoft, right near their all-time high is right here. They're not many dollars off of their all-time highs. Nvidia already destroyed their all-time highs. Nvidia's all-time high was over here. They already broke over this white line, completely shattered that. Now Tesla, and Newski, you could give your take on what you think Tesla's going to do. They're not near their all-time highs or anything, but they're definitely come really far from when they bottomed out. Everybody might remember when they fell aggressively back here in September through October, November, but then ever since then they found a bottom, and they've been performing really well, up over 100% from this point. They were down here at $100. Now they're at $213.
Yeah. So, I mean, my take on Tesla is very simple. I know we spoke a lot about this off camera. Like, I personally am investing in Tesla, and I think that they're a great company in terms of what they're trying to do. So I have a long-term view on Tesla, right? I'm not thinking the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Like, I'm thinking, what would it be in the next 2, 3 years? And then from there on out. So for me, it's a great price. Like, I'm not mad at if they want to buy here. I'm not mad at someone if they want to hold off and just dollar cost average their way to whatever point they feel comfortable. But overall, I think it's a great company. I think it has a lot of value, and that's what I'm looking at.
I agree. And they're primed they look like they want to break out from a technical level. They look like they want to break out as well. So Tesla might have a run coming in them. And like you said, I believe in them fundamentally as well. You look at Google. Google looks like it's breaking out as well. Like these are, notice we're showing you the best companies: Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Tesla, Google. Netflix was once the darling of the stock market, and they had a crazy drop off. You see this price drop? Netflix went from being up here about $700, coming all the way.
Bro, the thing is, see, this is where I think it becomes very important. Like, not to cut you off, bro, I think this is just very, very key because this is where the valuation of companies comes from, guys. Like, if you guys are able to look and understand how to value companies, I mean, you've taught you is as a PE ratio, right? And understanding cash on hand, understanding what they're fundamentally doing, what the actual vision of the company is, and what the economy we're currently at is. It's like, yo, Netflix has this changed the game in terms of their business model now as well. I'm not saying I personally am invested in them. I'm not, right? I have no stake in Netflix in that sense. However, I will say that when a company becomes undervalued and you know the potential it has, that is a good time to invest in them. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely, bro. Because if they came down here to like, let's say $165, and right now they're back at 400, you doubled and tripled your money just by understanding like, okay, this is an undervalued company now. I don't think Netflix is gonna die. They have a good moat, right? And on top of that, we talked about Google being a verb. At this point, like Netflix and chill is a thing. Or like, they really patented the whole streaming side.
I don't do that, bro. You're wild right now.
Yeah, we don't advocate for Netflix and chilling on the bag talk.
Chill out, man.
But come on, you can't give up on a company like that. As well as we talked about Meta. Meta looks great from their all-time lows. Great from their all-time lows with more upside to come. And last but not least, you could just look at Amazon is one, because notice I went through the best companies, all these household names. I'm showing you what they charts look like. You see Amazon is booming right now as well from where they were at before. If they were down here at $80 and now they're back at 125, that's a solid return on your money. And with more upside to come. So like just trying to really just drive that home to where I don't want you guys to get caught up trying to find the next small company, because we've done that. And Newski, this probably be a good time for you to actually tell them the story that you're thinking of for yourself.
Yeah, so just to kind of like wrap it up for you guys, and this is where if you're still watching, you're about to get inside scoop of how I'm an idiot. But essentially, guys, like this is what it comes down to, right? When you're younger, you make mistakes, so you're trying to take the biggest risk, and there's nothing wrong with taking risks, but you have to be smart with your money. I bought Microsoft, and I'm looking at it right here. I bought Microsoft at $90 back in 2018 of January 18th, right? Like I was able to do that. I was looking at the company, I was learning about it, I was just getting new into like the whole research, and I was like, this is a great buy. And then I also bought it at $86 multiple times. So I had a really good average cost. Bro, what ended up happening was 2021, after the whole boom came, I was like, yo, I'm trying to find the next big company, right? Like COVID was going crazy. I ended up selling 27 shares at $215. So I sold it a good amount. You know what I mean? I got my money, I made my returns, et cetera, et cetera. However, it's at 350 something right now. So I missed out on a 55% return, and I dollar cost averaged into Microsoft as well. So I actually would have been a higher return. So when you think about it, it's like me chasing the next big thing made me miss out on what I currently own once again, right? So at the end of the day, guys, like don't be so caught up in the next big blow up and next like Netflix when you have great companies that you can invest in already.
Yeah,
that's the gem. That right there. That covers a whole episode for you guys.
Nah, literally. And I remember Newski, we had that talk one time back in COVID. We were in great companies. Apple, we had Apple at great price.
Apple. I look. Oh my. All right, I'm not even. Whatever.
Bro, we had great companies at great prices, and that was like, yo, let's put our money in DraftKings. And
yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. And yo, the reason why this whole channel kind of came about is because just to let y'all know, like we have made mistakes that we don't want you guys to make. Right. And us growing in our financial journey and sharing this information with you guys allows you guys to learn, but also allows us to hold ourselves accountable and be like, all right, now we're doing what we have to do. So we just want to share this with you guys. Everyone's going to make mistakes. The goal is just to learn from others and not yours. Simple as that.
So if y'all notice the two mistakes we talked about the past couple weeks, this week we're telling you guys about not trying to look for the next big thing and just sticking to where is the money in the market right now. Last week we talked about taking profits. We talked about Nvidia. That's why we took profits off the table with Nvidia. Guys, don't make the same mistakes we don't. If you did get some of these companies at low prices and you've seen them run up to a point where these companies are now overvalued, it's not a bad idea to take some stuff off the table. We still hold Nvidia. We didn't sell the whole position, but we took our principal out. When now we're covered at this point, because Nvidia, they might have a lot more upside. They've come out with a technology now that's actually putting a chokehold on the chip industry. The Nvidia is really different right now. I'm not gonna lie, because at a point we were saying like, yo, there's competition's gonna catch up to them. But what they just came out with, I don't know if competition could even catch up, not for a while. So they might have more room to the upside, but nonetheless, you're never mad at yourself for taking profits when a company, what was their PE ratio now, like 700 or something?
Their PE ratio, Nvidia, right?
Yeah.
170, bro. It hit
170, yeah.
And it was like, just to put it in perspective, 15 is the average, guys. So it obviously depends on different sectors, but I'm not saying it's overvalued, but at a certain point, you gotta learn your lessons. And that's what we want to teach you guys, right? Please be careful where you put your money, do your own research, and don't run away from the best. Because if you could have KD, LeBron, Kobe, Jordan, and Shaq on the same team, you're doing that every single time rather than getting Rel and I on the same team, right? Even though we'll probably beat them, you know what I'm saying? But hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you're still watching, thank you. We appreciate you. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Plus, hit that little notification bell because we drop
2 videos a week.
Don't want to miss them. We'll catch you on Wednesday. Until then, peace.
Peace.
Soundstripe.